Howdy again everyone, and recently I got a few hours with a brand new Canon RF 28 to 70mm f2.8 IS STM lens up at Canon HQ to give it a quick try and to put together a preview video for you all. I'll be able to test one properly in controlled conditions soon in order to make a full review, although the one you see here was a full production copy. It's intended to be a smaller, more affordable zoom lens in the Canon RF system, an ideal upgrade to your camera's kit lens, and its bright maximum aperture of f2.8 will really let your full-frame camera fly. It's a full-frame lens, it features its own 5.5 stop image stabilization, it's weather sealed, and it's designed to have minimal focus breathing for video work. It can also focus very closely to your subject for extra versatility, down to 35 centimeters, and its autofocus motor is fast and silent. Here's that autofocus in action. Oh, and here's some footage without the lens's stabilization, and here it is turned on, where you can see it making a handy difference. The lens is also nice and small. It collapses down to less than 10 centimeters long by turning the zoom ring all the way. Here you can see that it's much smaller than Canon's own 24 to 105mm f4L lens, despite the new lens's brighter aperture. It's made of plastic but feels relatively solid, as well as being weather sealed around the rear mount and the control rings. Its front focus ring can be switched on the side to become a control ring for aperture, ISO, exposure compensation and so on. The lens's front filter size is 67mm. The lens's disadvantages are that 28mm isn't the widest angle in the world, although it is admittedly useful enough. It's also going to cost £1,250 here in the UK, which is still pretty expensive for a non-L Canon lens, but it certainly is a much lower price than its f2.8L lens cousins on the RF system. When it comes to image quality, I really need to test this lens at home in controlled conditions to say anything for sure, but in my test pictures it was always very sharp in the middle from f2.8 with very good contrast. Corner image quality was softer at f2.8 but got sharp at f4 and f5.6, and that was the same whether zoomed in or zoomed out, but as I say, these were quite rudimentary tests. Some good news is that the lens can focus lovely and closely to your subject down to 35 centimeters. Close-up image quality seemed to be a little soft at f2.8. Again, I could be wrong there, and I'll need to test in more controlled conditions to really tell. So the lens isn't offering you the same performance as one of Canon's L lenses here, but then again, that makes sense as, well, it's not an L lens, it's a more affordable model, but its out of focus backgrounds looked lovely and soft, and that's what you're really paying for here, a bit of that f2.8 magic. The lens's price of £1,250 is hard to get away from, still pretty expensive, doesn't seem so competitive. I'm keen to get my hands on a copy for a little bit longer to see what it can really do, because the performance will really have to be there to justify that kind of price tag. Still, a very interesting new RF option from Canon, especially considering its small size. It could be a nice upgrade to your kit lens. It was fun to shoot with, honestly. A full review will come soon.